Welcome. We hope that you are doing well as you take a few moments to watch this overview video for the 2021 National Technical Assistance Center on Transition, the Collaborative Capacity Building Virtual Institute. Due to an inability to travel currently, NTACT has adjusted the format for the Capacity Building Institute for this year to a virtual format. We know that many of you and your state team members look forward to joining us each year to connect and network with your colleagues from across the country, to acquire new information and to plan for the coming year. And for some of you, the Capacity Building Institute, whether virtual or in person, is a new opportunity. So welcome. While we may not be able to meet face-to-face again this year, we hope that this year's Capacity Building Virtual Institute provides you and your state team with a worthwhile experience and an opportunity to move your work forward. We appreciate you joining us for this overview of the things to know for planning and participating in the 2021 Capacity Building Virtual Institute. This year's Capacity Building Virtual Institute is scheduled for Monday, May 3rd through Thursday, May 6th, 2021, from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Capacity Building Virtual Institute is designed in a year-long framework. Prior to participating in the 2021 CBVI, again, that's scheduled for the first week in May 2021, teams are encouraged to review their state plans from last year and reflect upon what worked and what didn't. As part of this process, state teams should review their current data, project possible goals for the coming year, and decide upon their state team participants who will be the most instrumental in developing their 2021-22 yearly plan. At the CBVI, state team participants will have the opportunity to attend informational content sessions, network with transition stakeholders from across the country, and engage in the facilitated development of an action plan that includes data collection methods. Then, during the course of the coming year, state teams will implement their yearly plan, including collecting and analyzing data, and determining what is working and what areas need to be further developed. To assist states with their planning process, the CBVI will provide meaningful content presentations that will assist participants in continuing to improve transition services, high school completion rates, and improve post-secondary outcomes of students and youth with disabilities that include graduation and credential attainment, as well as successful engagement in competitive integrated employment, post-secondary education training, and community engagement. The CBVI will provide state teams with a process to analyze your state's relevant transition data, reflect upon this past year's successes and areas of need, and to develop an interdisciplinary plan for 2021-22 that supports successful secondary transition outcomes for students with disabilities. In addition to the content sessions and team facilitation times, teams will also have access to content experts after the Capacity Building Virtual Institute who can further assist their state team in developing their goals for the coming year. And perhaps most importantly, the CBVI will provide opportunities for you to learn from your counterparts in other states and to build upon your professional partnerships and communication networks. This year's content sessions will address a number of emergent topics that are designed to assist state teams in developing and implementing their 2021-22 strategic plans. These include providing equitable access to effective transition practices, including school completion strategies for all students and youth, establishing a framework for a continuum of transition services from middle school through adulthood, the alignment of pre-employment transition services and IDEA secondary transition services and activities using a variety of service delivery methods, continuing to foster collaboration between career and technical education, special education, and vocational rehabilitation, the implementation of programs and activities that support successful transition outcomes for students with complex support needs, and developing scale-up strategies for professional development at the state, regional, and local levels. To assist state teams, we are also providing participants with a way of analyzing and using the information presented at the content sessions. So we're providing a note-taking template for you to use while engaging with these content sessions. This framework will provide you with a way to condense and organize your reflections and think about those key takeaways from the content sessions. And this way, you'll be better able to discuss what you have learned with the other members of your state team. At the heart of each year's Capacity Building Institute are the state team planning meetings. Facilitated state team planning time provides an opportunity for state team members to reflect upon their past and current data, their strengths, and areas of need related to secondary transition, and to share information and reflections from the Capacity Building Virtual Institute content sessions that will help in developing their plan for the coming year. If a state team chooses, they can request a facilitator to assist with their planning process. When registering, the state team leader can request a facilitator to assist with your team. NTACT staff will match your team with a facilitator, and that individual will contact you prior to the CBVI to develop a plan regarding your state's team planning meetings. Facilitators will be available to teams for up to 8 hours, and this includes meeting with your team for 4 hours during the CBVI and the possibility of additional meeting times prior to and/or following the CBVI. We have set aside 2 specific times during the Capacity Building Virtual Institute for state teams to meet. One is on Tuesday, May 4th from 2:15 to 4 p.m. Eastern, and then the other is on Thursday, May 6th from 2:15 to 4 p.m. Eastern. All team meetings will occur through your team's selected virtual platform. And please feel free to discuss with your team facilitator the best platform for you to use. It's important when developing your state team that all of those participants reflect upon your state's current areas of strength, needs, and projected goals related to secondary transition. So consider which key stakeholders should be engaged in your planning and implementation process. We encourage states to think beyond just education and VR staff, and especially to consider including students and youth and family members on your team. It is also recommended that you schedule a time prior to the first CBVI session to meet with your team members, especially if they've never participated in a CBVI, to discuss the purpose of this event, your team's current data, and your projected goals for the 2021-22 year. Also remember to keep in contact with your team members during and after the CBVI to ensure good communication and coordination is maintained. So now let's just take a brief look at each day at a glance. We're going to start with the first day of the CBI, which is Monday, May 3rd from 1 to 4. We'll start this day with opening remarks from David Cantrell, who's the Deputy Director of the Office of Special Education Programs, along with Celeste Evoke and Tara Johnson, also from OSERS. Following the opening remarks will be a welcoming presentation regarding improving opportunities and outcomes. And it will provide you a chance to get to know the new National Technical Assistance Center on Transition, the Collaborative. Following the opening remarks and welcoming will be a keynote presentation that will elaborate upon the importance of secondary transition from the view of students, youth and young adults, and family members. And that session will have commentary by Dan Habib and Amanda Waldron. Following the keynote will be what we're calling a watch party set of videos or little infomercials. And on Monday, the watch party videos will be on culturally responsible practices in transition, the intersectionality, diversity, equity, inclusion, that community of practice that NTACT has. And then lastly, a watch party video from the National Center on Systemic Improvement regarding their TLC webinar series. Later in the day, on Monday, May 3rd, from 2:45 to 4 p.m. Eastern, will be the concurrent sessions. And on Monday the 3rd, those sessions will include a session regarding finding and re-engaging lost students and youth with disabilities, strategies for dropout prevention and deliveries of service post-COVID, a session on mentoring and self-determination initiative with a focus on African American and Latino male middle school students with disabilities, a session regarding equitable approaches to re-engaging students and youth with disabilities in education in the VR system. And then lastly, a session regarding guiding questions for a culturally responsive framework during pre-employment transition services for students with disabilities. On Tuesday, May 4th, we will start that afternoon with a welcome to day 2 of the CBVI, and then follow it with 2 concurrent sessions. One on developing and supporting local interagency teams through a continuum of capacity building strategies, and then a session regarding pre-employment transition service delivery methods, including those in a virtual environment. Following the concurrent sessions will be additional watch party videos, one regarding families and students talking about their experiences in learning this past year in a virtual hybrid model and its impact on them, a session on developing community-based transition programs, and finally, a session regarding the circles model that comes out of Arkansas. After the watch party videos on Tuesday, May 4th, will be time for teams to meet and to plan using their virtual plan for platforms that they've selected, along with their facilitated guide through NTACT. On Wednesday, May 5th, day 3 of the CBVI, we will start again with a welcome to the CBVI, followed by a keynote presentation by a gentleman with a disability from UC Berkeley. Following the keynote presentation will be a whole group session regarding work-based learning across career and tech ed, vocational rehabilitation, and special education, noting the differences and the similarities and the cross efforts between career tech ed, VR, and special education. There will be watch parties also on May 5th, including one on resources for advancing career tech ed, looking at positive impacts of career tech ed for students with disabilities, several videos from the perspective of students and families from Arkansas and Tennessee, and then information regarding professional development resources that NTACT, the collaborative, can provide. Later in the day on Wednesday, May 5th, from 2:45 to 4 will be additional concurrent sessions. And on this day, they will include equity and access for students with disabilities in local career and technical education programs, preparing students with disabilities for STEM careers, a session on pre-employment transition services and planning delivery for students who are blind, and then partnering to align work-based learning and work experiences for students with disabilities. Then Finally, our last day of this year's Capacity Building Virtual Institute on Thursday, May 6th. We will start that day with a welcome again to the CBVI. The two concurrent sessions on that day, there will be one on scale up strategies using coaching, looking at a cross-agency approach, and then another session on equal access for transition for students with complex support needs. We will have closing remarks on that day from 2 to 2:15 with suggestions for next steps. And then lastly, it'll be that final set of team planning time with a facilitator. And again, those will be hosted on your selected virtual platform. As we discussed earlier, as part of the CBVI process, NTACT will provide teams with a list of content experts related to the topic areas addressed at this year's event. These individuals will be available to meet with your teams after the CBVI to assist your team in developing your goals for the coming year. Please let your team facilitator know if you would like to have a content expert connect with your team. And if you're not using a facilitator for your team planning, you can contact Jennifer Coyle or our NTACT staff directly through the contact information that we'll be providing at the end of this presentation. As we mentioned before, perhaps the most important part of the CBVI are the opportunities for you to learn from your counterparts in other states and to build upon your professional partnerships and communication networks. We have designed the CBVI to be interactive and engaging through the content sessions, team planning times, and engagement of our content experts. We will also be holding a summer celebration that will include a summary of all state plans for the coming year and will provide an opportunity for you to engage with other professionals from across the country that have similar areas of interest and goals for the coming year. The save the date for this event will be coming out soon. And finally, we recommend that you stay connected with NTACT, the collaborative, and participate in our peer networks, communities of practices, join our watch parties and webinars. If you haven't done so already, please register at this year's CBVI website that is being provided on the Yes LMS Companies platform. And let's just take a minute to look at that site. So you'll see when you go to the site, which is again, www.yeslms.com/CBVI 2021, you'll be taken to this page. Now, this is actually the central hub for this year's CBVI. So not only will you be able to register on this site, but all of the materials and resources that will be discussed during the CBVI will be housed here, along with information regarding all of the presenters. So when you go to this site, again, you can download the agenda, you can register for the session, again, meet our team members, our presenters, and this will be where not only information and FAQs, but also all of the resources connected to this year's CBVI will be housed. So again, if you haven't yet registered, please go there and then visit there frequently because that is where the information for the 2021 CBVI will be housed. If you have any questions, contact us really. Jennifer Coyle is helping to coordinate this year's CBVI. You can contact her directly, or please feel free to contact any of our planning committee or send an email directly to our website at ntact-collab@uncc.edu. We thank you for your participation in viewing today's overview of the 2021 CBVI, and we look forward to seeing you soon. And as a reminder, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, or at the hashtag TransitionTA. Visit our website at transitionta.org, or again, send us an email if you have any questions at ntact-collab@uncc.edu. And again, thank you for participating, and we look forward to seeing you at this year's 2021 Capacity Building Virtual Institute.
in your